All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. We're doing this one live. I know. I swayed from my usual ways, but there's only so much time in a day and only so much one man can do. Well, I was getting a little problematic with the sleep and everything else, so I had to do some things. But I think I got a good mojo going now. This one is entitled Caribbean War Warning. And why is that? Well, there is a bit of a call out that's going on to the countries down in the South America kind of area, basically saying that get ready for war. So we're going to be talking about that and a bunch of other stuff. Yes, I know I haven't been live in a little while. My apologies. Cosmic and Bad Bobber, good to see you all. Yep. Oh, Mateo, I hope it works out, man. Leaving Southwest Florida, moving back with my parents in NYC. Wish me luck. No jobs. My rent is going up. I get it. Bless their heart. Yep. So, well, I hope I hope it works out for you, Mateo. I lived in New York City for about 8 years, almost a decade. I did all right. If you're a hustler, if you work hard, there's always jobs. You just got to look and find them and be open to stuff. So, wars and rumors of wars. That's correct. That is correct. So, we're going to be talking about that. So, let me explain first and foremost why I've been kind of switching things up. My sleep has not been good since the school year started. And it's been very tough to keep up. And by the end of the week, I was just really kind of not feeling good and not sleeping well. So I started doing things in the morning, going to bed, getting a good 7 hours, tabulating over the night and all that, and then waking up, recording and punching it out, and also doing the alert. Whenever I can't do an alert, it means I got stuff going on at my job and I just can't physically get to it. But I don't know. We got a good mojo going on right now. I like this recording and then going to sleep. We'll see. I will always have a crisis report out. If you want a transcript of this, you can find it online at preppernow.substack.com. That's actually doing well. I've had a little bit of a dip in my non-paid subscribers, but anyway. If you want to join that for free, you can. It comes in your email. It's, typical stuff. I was thinking I want to do the doom scrolling and put this all together so you guys don't have to do that. There's actually a story on here that basically will make you understand why these large language models and AI and everything why everything that's going on around you is actually making us dumber as a species. So it's pretty crazy. It seems like the cat is being driven insane as well, so he gets it. But yeah, let's get going on with all this. Yeah, these are birth pangs. Arc Living, good to see you, brother. Let's get started. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. I don't know if you've seen the metals market lately, but yeah, you might want to consider such things. They take your 401k or your IRA and put it into gold and silver in a retirement fashion. They can tell you better about it than I can. Link in the description. You sign up for an informational, and then they take it from there. So if you're considering such things, let's get started with your crisis report for October 21st, 2025. This is on Substack. Substack is where you find all this, and then you go from there. So let's get going. I appreciate you being here. And yeah. So let's see. What's going on, Kat? Kat says, they taught the Gen Z people I work with math in a way seemingly I purposely so they can't do it in their own heads. Yeah, that's absolutely what they did. I've actually seen what they want to do for modern math. They're coming back to basics with all the stuff in education. If you look at what's going on, I think it's Mississippi or Alabama, they went back and just started teaching basic phonics again. And the craziest thing happened. They went from the bottom of the barrel when it come to literacy in their state. Now they're mid-tier, if not moving up higher. It seems if you just do things in a simple way and teach the way it's always been taught, well, nothing new under the sun. So, all right, let's get going. Actually, Taz, we're going to be talking about birth rates. I got some pretty interesting news about that. Let's get going on your crisis report, friends. Thanks so much for being here. Hit that like button to the subscribe thing. Maybe you'd like to be a member like Bad Bobber or Ark Livin or Scrappy Cat. This does help the channel. Stay in the good graces. If you've been around a while, you know that me and Borg battle it out quite a lot because, well, I tell you the things that they don't want you to hear. And so we're going to keep doing that. All right, here we go. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Sanae Takaichi is elected as Japan's first female prime minister. Yay. Amazon plans to robotize 75% of its operations, which would kill more than 600,000 jobs at Amazon and ultimately be replaced with robots. Had a fun conversation with the students today about that one. Yeah, the just had no idea what to say. Just a blank stare on all of their faces. Argentina's peso has fallen to an all-time low against the U.S. dollar and has now collapsed 99.8% since 2009. U.S. senators and journalists have openly begun threatening a complete occupation of Venezuela and its natural resources with the help of collaborators. Fox News host Sean Hannity floated the idea of Venezuela becoming the 51st state in cooperation with opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, to which Republican Senator Lindsey Graham responded, "Sounds good to me." Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy is going to begin his 5-year prison sentence today at La Santé prison in Paris. Trump claims that numerous allies, Saudi Arabia, UAE, in the Middle East want to take out Hamas. Numerous allies in and around the Middle East told me that they want to gladly enter Gaza with heavy force, straighten out Hamas if it violates its agreement. I told them in Israel, not yet. There is still hope Hamas will do what is right. We've got a lot of things coming and saying that the ceasefire is having trouble holding. And it's basically, someone called it a spigot ceasefire. Whenever they want to turn on the spigot and start bombing the crap out of stuff, they do that. So, yeah. Putin-Trump meeting in Budapest has been canceled. Russia is unwilling to back down on demands, according to CNN. U.S. officials are growing concerned that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu may break the ceasefire. Vance, Kushner, and Wyckoff have been assigned to keep him in check during their visit to Israel. Texas election audit has found thousands of illegal immigrants listed on the state's voter rolls. You could have saw that coming. Former CIA Director John Brennan has been referred to the DOJ for criminal prosecution over allegations that he lied to Congress. Definitely needs to be put into the criminal justice system. Again, I think this is going to become a theme here. I'm going to ask, what is going on with Alejandro Mayorkas, and why isn't he in prison or at least getting a criminal referral? United States naval and special forces are increasing their operations off the coast of Venezuela. FDA has issued a recall for over 6 million eggs in at least 6 states following reports of a salmonella contamination. Please be careful out there with the whole egg thing. So what's Ark saying right there? There we go. How's it going, folks? All right, cool. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. We're coming back to basics. We're doing it here live. 6 million eggs recalled. Britain deploys a small number of troops to Israel to support the Gaza ceasefire at the request of the U.S. Secretary of War. Trump has lit a diya in the Oval Office to celebrate India's Diwali. It's their big celebration. Trump will release over $3 billion in aid to U.S. farmers, frozen due to the government shutdown. Some people are getting pissed off with this Argentina thing because supposedly they're buying beef and everything else. It'll be intermixed with our meat, and a lot of people are saying this is not America first. So more to come on that. The Argentinians will go to vote on the 26th, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But their whole country is in a terrible economic way, and it's because, honestly, for the last 50 years of very progressive, liberal leadership, for the most part, running the place into the ground. Strange how they do that. South Korea reports North Korea launched multiple short-range ballistic missiles in its eastern sea. Missile Kim Jong-un. Wonder where you've been there, you little fat butt. American conservatives are losing only 0.1 fertility since the 1990s, a very under-discussed phenomenon. So let's discuss it here. To our friends in the back and running all of the media and everything, you're losing. Yeah, you are. You're losing everything. You're not winning the fertility battle. You're not winning the culture battle. You're not winning any battle. You're losing. So why don't you just embrace the suck, understand that you are losing. Eventually, you will completely be taken over, and just, move on from any kind of, control that you try to have over different platforms and conversations and narratives, because you're losing. Let's see. Elon Musk, SpaceX will carry 90% of the world's payload mass to the space this year. So does pretty much Earth's space program. People's Republic of China manufacturers have dramatically increased fiber optic drone component exports to Russia, possibly indicating a heightened PRC commitment to Russian battlefield success in Ukraine. PRC expanded its export controls over rare earths ahead of the APEC summit, highlighting how the CCP uses its market dominance for economic coercion and can disrupt the international flow of critical materials that are essential to many advanced technologies. Cheng Li-Wun won the KMT chairperson election, defeating the establishment favorite Hualong Bin. Cheng is a vocal advocate for a shared Chinese identity amongst Taiwanese people. South Korean Unification Minister Chung Dong-young confirmed that the Lee administration will pursue a two-state framework for inter-Korean relations, moving away from the long-standing South Korean policy endorsing unification. Capital tied by the way, capital tied up in permitting doesn't contribute to the economy, and this is what is costing you. So all the permitting, all the crap that big stupid states like Maryland does to make extra money, it doesn't help anything. Doesn't help the economy, doesn't help anything, and they take it and piss it away. So don't forget that, okay? Good talk. Trans and non-binary identities are indeed in free fall in college-age Americans. Why? Because people think it's stupid. You're losing. According to an advisor to the Prime Minister of a U.S. ally nation, and one diplomatic source, allied countries have been briefed about a possible upcoming escalation in the Caribbean. Scientists just proved that large language models can literally rot their own brains, the same way humans get brain rot from scrolling junk content online. And this is why you strap on the crisis report and listen to it in your thing and go about your day, you garden, you drive to work, you do whatever it is. You don't have to doom scroll. I do all this for you. You put on the earbuds, you listen, you understand things like this right now, that AI is basically rotting its own brain for the large language models. And then from there, yeah, you can move on with your life and not have to doom scroll. Fed models, months of viral Twitter data, short, high engagement posts, watch their cognition collapse. Reasoning fell by 23%. Long context memory dropped 30%. Personality tests showed spikes in narcissism and psychopathy. And get this, even after retraining on clean, high-quality data, the damage didn't fully heal. Representational rot persisted. It's not just bad data, it's bad output. It's bad data, it's permanent cognitive drift. AI equivalent of doom scrolling is real, and it's already happening. Full study is here, of course, where you can get it in the crisis report, which is why you join us. It helps you. Amazon reportedly hopes its robots will replace 600,000 U.S. jobs by 2033. Documents show that Amazon's robotics team has an ultimate goal of 75% of its operations being robots. Amazon is so convinced that automated future is around the corner that it has started developing plans to mitigate the fallout in communities that may lose jobs. Maybe they should go to Charleroi, Pennsylvania, where a third of the population has now been unemployed by 4th Street Meats and Foods going under, which employed numerous Haitian new neighbors that should not be here and are here in a not so legal way. Amazon brought into the U.S. hundreds of thousands of legal and illegal migrants to work in their warehouses, migrants which they now want to lay off and let them roam aimlessly in the U.S. with no hope of competing with an AI. We are outsourcing everything to AIs, even though they hallucinate constantly, have to be supervised and adjusted constantly to repair the mistakes they make. And to top it all off, it is scientifically proven that AIs get dumber the more time passes due to the sheer amount of synthetic data that they come to consume. AI future will be quite literally evil and stupid. The only reason they are implementing this is for the stock portfolios of a couple billionaires who want to be even richer than they are already. And the funny thing is, I love it when people, these no kings, saying like, oh, Trump's a billionaire, he thinks he's a king or whatever. Do they even know who's funding all that crap, from Singham to Gates to Soros to all the others? I bet they don't. And again, they're losing. Market correction of the same magnitude as the dot-com crash could wipe out over $20 trillion in wealth to American households, equivalent to roughly 70% of American GDP in 2024. This is several times larger than the losses incurred during the crash of the early 2000s. This is why they can't let the stocks go down, and they're pulling out all the stops to push the price of gold and silver back down. Both have taken a little bit of a hit lately. They are trying their best because, well, there's a short squeeze going on of gold and silver. The paper versions of it don't represent the amount that is actually out there. In fact, it's about 10 to 1, 6 to 1, something like that, paper to actual physical metals, especially when it comes to silver. So they don't know what to do. Short squeeze is coming, and this will eventually break. Pastor John Hagee at the Christians United for Israel conference demanded the destruction of the United Nations, saying it is anti-Semitic and unfair treatment of Israel. Hamas ceasefire violations continue. Israeli aircraft attack militants who crossed the yellow line in the Khan Yunis area. Qatar's emir sharply criticized Israel and accused it of violating the ceasefire in Gaza without mentioning the terrorist organization and the serious incident in Rafah where 2 IDF soldiers were killed. Prime Minister's office says that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his professional team met with the head of Egyptian intelligence at the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem. In the meeting, they discussed advancing President Trump's plan, Israel-Egypt relations, strengthening peace between the countries, as well as other regional issues. This thing will eventually get going again, okay? Just so you know, the Middle East is going, so that's very funny, Mississippi Coast Cajun Prepper. I would agree. I'm looking for a lady with nice, large purse. Carry your pills. Red Cross is on its way to the meeting point in the southern Gaza Strip, where several coffins of deceased hostages will be transferred into its custody. Don't ask AI how to vote, says Dutch watchdog. 4 chatbots tested by the AP tended to advise people to vote for parties on the, drumroll please, left or on the far right extreme of the political spectrum. Watchdog tested. Machines often end up with the same 2 parties regardless of the user's question or command, AP said in a new report ahead of the October 29th election. In more than half of the cases, the chatbot suggested either the far-right Freedom Party of Geert Wilders, they are not far-right, by the way, that is just a joke, or left-wing GroenLinks, PVDA, led by former European Commission Vice President Frans Timmermans. Some parties, such as the center-right CDA, are almost never mentioned, even when the user's input exactly matches the positions of one of those parties. Gold price has tumbled 5% since a record run higher. A bug expert is terrified to see mosquitoes in Iceland for the first time in history. The last fortress has fallen, according to the New York Post. So, yeah, very terrible. Arc Living, thanks for gifting 5 Crisis Report memberships, sir. Thank you so much. You're the best, bud. Trump on the history of the West Wing said there used to be a swimming pool on the other side of the wall. That was the famous swimming pool. Now it's even worse. It's for the media. This is where they get the term, the press pool, for those that don't know their history. The Louvre heist has lost an estimated 88 million euros, or 102 million American dollars, according to Paris prosecutor. Daily Mail reports that Luigi Mangione, idol of the anti-capitalist right and the far left, was attacked and clawed by 7 Thai ladyboys during a mysterious disappearance that occurred months before the United Healthcare CEO's murder. This is one of the strangest stories I think I've ever read in my entire life. I don't even know where to go to that one. A 6.0 to 6.1 earthquake has shaken the border between Ecuador and Peru. And Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service says that NATO is actively preparing for war with Russia. We certainly see the preparations of the European NATO allies for war with our country. And there you have it. All right, friends, that is the crisis report for October 21st, 2025. Please hit that like button. Please do the subscribe thing if you're new here. You're probably not, because I'm sure they've not pushed this out into the world because, well, when you're losing like they are, they have to do things to try to hemorrhage the, or stop the hemorrhaging, try to clot it, give it a good old clot, stop the bleeding. They're not winning anything. They're not winning the information war. They're not winning the birthing war. They're not winning anything. And so eventually they will just die away, and things will start to hopefully go back to normal, So that's everything right there. Friends, thanks so much for being here. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. All I can say is keep on prepping, folks. Things are getting really, really rough out there. There's probably a crash of some kind of a financial coming in the not so distant future. When and where, I don't know, but I doubt I'm going to sell my house when we put it finally on the market. Let's hope it makes it at least till the summer and someone will come in and buy this thing. But I plan on being in the wonderful Republic of Marylandistan, having new and inventive ways of the legislature to come in and take my money because I'm a productive human being. Yeah, so prep and pray. All right, friends, God bless you all. We will see you on the next one.